Morning. Hope we'll start with 97. We'll continue from 98 onwards. It is about establishing standards. Read the question. Purchased for 36.45. The company's cost will increase by approximately by 10%, and the price range is 38.78 to 48.48, depending upon the quality purchased. The appropriate standard for the next year should be set what? Cost plus 10%, lowest purchase price, highest price. Which is the correct option? On what, set what? What price you have to set? Simple. Whatever is agreed upon by the purchase manager. So the standard is based on what? Whatever is agreed by the purchase manager, the price. Except. Standards are set for a year. Standard cost can be inventory accounts. Standards are not stated in total. They are always based on per unit. What is consumed per unit? It is not always set based on total. After performing thoroughly the operations, an independent consultant has given their views. Which one of the following facts will be inconsistent with consistent conclusion? Labor standards were probably too tight. See, it will be too tight only when there is a top-down approach. If there's a bottom-up approach, workers will set their own standards. It will not be too tight. In case of bottom-up philosophy, the workers set the standards, so it will not be too tight. So that is not a, conclusion, and this particular statement is not going together. Inconsistent. Least likely to be involved. Least likely to be involved in establishing standard costs for evaluation purpose. Industrial engineers, quality control personnel, top management may not be involved because they set various other standards. So top management is least likely to be involved. Standard costs. Okay, they are set by others, but not which one, the top management. Simple. The amount spent on the forecasted sales 1,89,000 is equal to 1,50,000 plus 3M. When you solve this, It will be 39,000 is equal to 3M. So M is equal to 13,000. 39,000 divided by 3, 13,000 is equal to M. Correct. Next, y is equal to a plus bx. B stands for variable coefficient, right? Variable coefficient. Forecasting is nothing but evaluating what is going to happen. Planning is, of course, to do with various other things. Yes, forecasts are used for planning. Forecast is used for planning. X is equal to S, independent variable. A plus bx, x is equal to independent variable. For cost estimation, simple regression differs from multiple regression. Simple regression uses only yes. In case of multiple regression, we use what? More than one independent variable. Bx1, 2, 3, like that. Correct. Cumulative material is given. Cumulative labor cost is given. For 10, it is 60. It is getting doubled, okay? 4 times. 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 92, 3 lakh 7,200, okay? Variable is 1 per direct labor dollar. 40 engines will be allocated 1 lakh fixed cost. 1 lakh fixed cost. All the companies are submitting bids are allowed to charge a maximum of 25% above the full cost for each order. So for a minimum bid of 40 units, how much it will be? Average. Then
1,92,000 divided by 20 units, 86,000,
9,600.
2,600.
So
And divide
80% leverage. So for 41 to 80 units, 41 to 80 units, what will be the material cost? Then labor cost 3,07,200 into 2 times into 80%. Less 3 lakh to 7,200, right? What is it? You get 1,84,320. 1,84,320 is your labor cost. Then Variable overhead is applied 1 per direct labor hour. It's given 1 per direct labor hour. 1 per direct labor hour. So we know labor hours change according to output. So for this, variable overhead will be, if there is for every extra hour work, it would have been extra $1 per labor hour, like that it would have been given. So it will be 184 320. Applying the learning curve effect, it will be 184 320. The fixed cost, it is just an allocated fixed cost. Fixed costs do not change with output. They are just allocated fixed overheads. They should not be considered for decision making. So this is a minimum price you have to quote. They are not asking you maximum price. What is the minimum price that you have to quote? So 2,40,000 plus 184 320 plus 184 320. What is the total cost?
6,08,640.
Then what is the correct answer? C. I hope we added this 1 lakh. Clear? That fixed cost is not a specific fixed cost. It is an allocated fixed cost. Okay, so the question is, what is the minimum price? What is the minimum price?
Minimum price data fixed cost allocation.
Because fixed cost, is it going to change because the output is changed? For manufacturing this extra unit, are you spending this extra 1 lakh or just it is an allocated fixed cost? Allocated fixed cost means existing fixed cost allocated to these units. So that should not be considered. For example, I'm having a factory, I'm having fixed expenses, a new customer comes with an order. For that, what is the relevant cost I have to quote? Minimum price. I'm telling about minimum price. I'm having existing fixed cost. Is it going to increase or decrease because of accepting or not accepting the order? No. So that should not be considered. This is maximum bid price. Try பண்ணுங்க. Maximum bid price, you can include even the allocated fixed expense also. So what was the bid price earlier? 608 640. Allocated fixed expenses 608 640. Allocated fixed expenses are like $1 lakh. Total you will get 708 640. On this you mark up 25%. This is the maximum bid price you can quote.
8,85,800.
8,85,000.
800.
Answer is A. So minimum bid price, add allocated fixed cost plus profit margin. So you can quote 8,85,600. This is maximum bid price. Try this next. Additional 3,000 labor hours for additional second lot of 10 units. So cumulative time will be 8,000, 5,000 plus 3,000, 8,000 divided by 20. Average learning time is 400. So you get 80%.
Learning from 80%.
Hmm. Based on the average time given, learning curve is 80%. Done.
Point two four,
Hmm?
10.24, 80%, 10.2.
How?
201 to 400 one day, 8 batch calculation. So, 2%, 12.4, அதோட 80% பண்ணா 10.2.
16 into, okay, we are in the second batch. Third batch,
12 point,
that into 0.8.
12.2.
12.8. Eighth batch problem, yeah. எப்படி work out பண்ணுவீங்க? So what will be the learning time? 20, 16,
12.8, 10.24.
10.24. They don't ask that question. Be careful about the question. For the last 200 units only they ask for. Simple. 400 into 10.24. What is 400 into 10.24?
The average time when
For the last, first cumulative time put. 400 into 10.24, how much you get? Total time.
4,096.
For the 200 units, 200 into 12.8.
2,560.
What is the difference? So for the last 200 units, what is the time taken?
1,536.
So average will be average for the last 200.
0.68.
1536 divided by the last 200. How much you get?
7.68.
That is the question they ask. They refer to. Average hours for the range of 201 to 400. So answer is C. 80% and 7.68. Any doubt in it? Look at this. Total time, average time is given. So 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8.1 minutes. I hope it is 90%. It comes to 90%. Average time for the first 8 tasks. First 8 tasks. It is not 8th task. First 8 tasks given. Simple. 8.1 into 90%.
7.29.
It's a direct question.
9.
7.29 minutes. 200 units took 100 direct labor hours means average time is 10. So 80% learning curve means 8, 6.4, then fourth batch it will be 6.4 into 80%.
1 4 minutes.
Sorry. So for the fourth batch, 6.4 into how many units? 200 units, right? Hours. Okay, 6.4 hours into a year. 4 batches means 800. Okay, correct. What is the amount? For the eighth batch, sorry, for the second batch, 8 into 400. Two hundred units take 100 direct labor hours means it is how much per hour? It's not 10. 0.5, 0.4, 0.32. Tell me 0.32 into 800.
256.
Instead of hours per units, I divided hours. Okay. So this into 400, it will be 160. Difference. -96. They ask you not average time, how many hours it takes to produce the third and fourth batch. Second batch, we take 160 hours totally. Fourth batch, we take 256 hours. So third and fourth batch, 96 hours. Be careful. எனக்கு நானே சொல்லிட்டேன். Okay, question number 113. Learning curve analysis.
Yes.
80%. This already we have done. 80%.
We need to average time.
Yes. Cumulative average learning time model. How? 10,000 first unit into 80% for the second unit into 80% for the fourth unit into 80% for the eighth unit. So what will be the average time? Total time for the 8 units.
2096.
40960.
Then 3 units.
7 additional units. 7 additional units. Already we worked out for 8 units, it takes 40960. First unit took 10,000 hours of time. For 7 additional units, it is 30,960. Four hours for the first unit into 80% for the second into 0.8 for the fourth. How much you get? 4 into 0.8 into 0.8. 124. How much?
0.56.
2.56. For 50 units, they included material cost, labor cost, variable overheads, fixed overheads. For 150 units, if they're using 70% learning curve, 150 units will result in what? Which means for an order of 50 units, this has been done. For an order of next 150 units, so time for one, the average time is 1000 hours. 50 units, the average time is 1000. So average time taken 1000 by 50
20.
for 100, 70%, 14 for 200,
0.8.
9.8. So time required will be 9.8 into 200 units.
1,960.
1960 hours required. So this is the total time. Less at present we operate for therefore additional hours 960 hours required. Now let us quote the price. For 50 units, if it is 1500, So what will be the direct labor? What will be the direct labor cost? Material cost will be there. Material cost we will not change. Okay, so what will be the labor cost? 960 into 8.5 divided by additional 150 units. How much you get? Labor cost per unit. Labor cost 960 into 8.5 divided by for additional 150 units. How much it will be?
4.4. But 960 divided by 150 is 6.4.
So 960 divided by, okay, hours la கொடுத்திருக்கான answer. So 6.4 hours. 6.4 hours and
8.5.
at the rate of 8.5. So direct labor cost will be 960 divided by 150, 6.4 hours at the rate of what? 8.5. So direct labor cost will include this. Clearly learning curve is given. So it cannot be other option. 122 part. %10 decrease on average time. So 10% decrease in average time will be nothing but learning ratio will be 90%. Learning ratio will be 90%.
Repetitive task.
Repetitive task only the time can be reduced. For repetitive task only the time can be reduced. Correct. So 2 units. First to 4 units. Total labor time. 160 or 180. The first 2 units. 200 divided by 200 hours into 0.9 into 4 units.
324.
How much? 324 hours. First 2 units, then it will be 2, 4, like that it will continue. So for 4, the learning time 90% at the 90 hours into 4 units, 324 hours. Is it? No, check. 2, 4 done. 2, 4 done. So 90 into 4, it will be 361. 90% learning curve. Next, 126 part. Labor time needed. Okay, of course, learning curve techniques. Average labor cost per unit of the first batch is 120. Second batch is 72. For 4 batches, they ask for total labor cost. So it will be like 72, 120 by 72, how much percentage? Sorry, 72 by 120, how much percentage it comes?
60%.
60% apply panna. 124, 72 into 0.6, how much you get? What is the average time?
43.
43.2, 43.2 into 100, 4 batches means there will be how many batches? 400 units. One batch 100, so 4 batch 400. So 400 into 43.2, this will give us total time, total labor cost. They don't ask you cumulative, there is incremental cost. They ask you total cost. What is the total cost?
17,000.
17,000 to 80. 17,000 to 80. So first batch, if it is 80, second batch it will be 160. Fourth one it will be 320. So what is the time? 120 hours means how much it is? 120 by 80, how much you get? 1.5. 80% learning time. 80% learning time means
How 1.5?
120 hours by 80 units, 1.5. Then apply this 80%. 80% of 1.5,
1.2.
1.2. That into 80%,
0.96.
96 into 320 units,
307.2. 307.
307.2. 307.2 is for 4, that is 320 units. Additional 140 units get recorded. For 80 units, what is the cost? For 80 units, what is the time? 120 hours time. For 320 units, 307.2 extra.
187.
187.2. Extra 240 units now, 80 to 320. That extra 240 units, we spend 187.2. 187.2. Eight units get it on. 70% learning time.
Say it's 0.
70% apply for
96.
96.
9,800.
Eighth unit to
Say 6.
6860. For 7 additional units. So for 8th unit, we know 6860. 6860 into 8. How much you get?
4,880.
54880 is for 8th unit. For first unit, 20,000. Okay, 20,000 for the first unit. Difference will be for the 7 additional units. For the 7 additional units, what is it? 34,880. Same, 54,880. Total cost they ask for. Same question, total cost they ask for 54,880. Next. Next 12 units. First lot of 4 units. Eight hundred by 4. 800 by 4. 200. 90% learning time, it will be 180. For 16, what is the average time? 180 into 90%. Apply 180 into 90%. 160? So I'm not getting the voice properly. That's it. So total time will be 16 into 162. 16 into 162. What is the total time? 2592 is for 16 units. They don't ask you for 16 units, additional 12 units. For 4 units, it is 800 hours. For 16 units, it is 2592. The difference will give us for next 12 units, what is the value? 1792. 1 additional units, 1792. Average time to require to handle one customer 15 minutes, 80% learning curve. Cumulative average time required to handle one customer call after the 4th week will be first week if it is 15 minutes, second week it will be 80%. Well, 4th week it will be
9.6.
cumulative average time asked for. They ask for.
After 4th week. So after 4th week.
No, the first week is over. After first week, second week. Another.
Your answer is the cumulative average time required to handle one customer call after the 4th week.
It will be this one.
Oh, on the 15 minutes first.
You are telling it as, 4, 8 and
Oh.
4 to 8 weeks. After the 4th week, the average time, if you work out the average time, it will come to 9.6. A company is considering action to government agency. What is given? Which is 50% of the time. 50% of the time they can recall a product. 40% of the time only notification கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. 10% of the time no action will be done. So 10% of the time no action will be done. 50% of the time they can recall the product, which comes within this which range. There's no chance that it can come below 10%. Okay, 50% 10 to 15% in the range. Only the first one comes within the range. It is above 10, but of course 50 is also included. B cannot be the answer because there is no chance that 40% recall will be done. C also there is no chance that 10% of the time they don't recall, no action is taken. 61 is not possible. So answer is A. Which vendor you need to recommend to get? 1 lakh switches per year. We need 1 lakh switches. We need 1 lakh switches for assembly process. So if you buy from P, how many switches you will buy? 1 lakh is the switches we need to buy. If 90% passes the test now, then you have to buy more. How many switches you will buy? 1 lakh divided by 90%. That 1 lakh is 90%. If you buy some quantity, 10% defective, 90% is only used. So how much switches you will buy from P? Tell me 1 lakh divided by 90%. We have to buy, we cannot round up correctly. 1,11,112 switches you need to buy. Okay, adala cost will be 1,11,112 into what is the cost of the switch? 35 plus repair cost. What is the repair cost? 10% it will become defective no solra. 10% it will become defective no solra. Because of that, labor cost we have to incur because of loss of productivity. Scrap ஆகும்போது loss of productivity வருதுன்னு சொல்றோம். 1,11,112 into 10% probability that it may be lost. That time labor cost 25 may be incurred. So what is the total cost from P? 1,11,112 into 35 cost of the switches. This 0.1 is when the switches become defective. That time we spend a labor cost that becomes a waste. So 1,11,112 into 0.1 into 25%. How much you get? What is the total cost if you buy from P? See, we pay this much for the switch. We pay this much for the labor cost, extra labor cost because of the defective thing. What is the thing you're getting? What is the cost? Work out and calculate. Sure. 0.1% risk, 10% defective into 25. How much you get? 41 lakh.
66,668.
So 700 வச்சு அதே மாதிரி கியூக்கு போடும்போது 1 lakh divided by 94%. 1 lakh divided by 94%. What is the gross amount required? One lakh divided by 94%.
1,06,380. Sorry, 80.
This into, okay, into 37 plus and the 10,66383 into 0.06. 6% defective, 94% into 25 rectification cost. If you apply this, yes, I directly look at the work. 4095746 same thing. When we apply for the next one, 97%. 97% will be 103,093 into 39. 103,093 into 0.03 into 25. This will give us 4097047. Okay. For the next vendor, 99%. One percent, 0.01. When you multiply, you get 4065693. So which vendor is having the lowest cost? That model we'll accept. I go vendor yes will have the lowest cost. So work out the total cost, then put the thing. Look at 137. Can you tell me what is the expected value for this? Multiply 2 lakh into 0.4, 3 lakh into 0.3, 4 lakh into 0.2, 5 lakh into 0.1. What is the expected value? 2 lakh into 0.4, 3 lakh into 0.3, 4 lakh into 0.2, and 5 lakh into 0.1. Multiply and tell me the expected value. $80,000, $90,000, $40,000, $50,000. I hope it should be 3 lakhs. So work out the cost. 0.6 into 3 lakhs plus 20,000. This will be 0.4 into 3 lakhs plus 50,000. Next one, 0.2 into 3 lakhs plus 1,20,000. So which is having the lowest cost? Semi-automatic machine has the lowest cost. So semi-automatic machine because it is having the lowest expected cost. So first we work out the expected value 3 lakhs. Then we work out total cost based on the expected value, then decide which is better. Ignoring the time value of money, expected cost of using semi-automatic machine, already we worked out. 1,70,000. அதாவது present value எடுத்துக்காம we apply present value factors, right, for capital budgeting project, ignoring that time value of money. Ignoring that time value of money means the present value factor will apply, 1 divided by 1.1. Ignoring that, they ask you to work. That is based on the annual cost. That is based on the annual cost. So 1,70,000 is the correct option. How much? What is the cost of the machine? 1,70,000. Current input price is 120. What is the expected price change? Multiply it 15 into 5%. This no change na 0. This will be minus. Tell me the amounts. 15 into 5%. 15 into 5%. Just apply 15 into 5%.
0.15 in the direct of 15 into
15 into 5. Point 0.75. The other one, 10 into 10, 0.1. 5 into this one, 1.25%. This is 0. This is minus 0.5. So what is the net change?
Sorry, 2.15.
You will get 0.25 Maru, otherwise 2.5%. So 2.5% of 120 is 2.5% of 120. 3. See, based on the probabilities given, the probability of change is 2.5%. Weighted average probability is 2.5%. Into 120, you get 3. This is what we have done. In decision making under uncertainty, we consider what? Weighted average probable outcome. What is weighted average probable outcome? Outcomes into probabilities will give us what? Weighted average probable outcomes. Refer profit payoff is given, demand is given, probability of demand is given. Then they ask you to find out the profit when supply is equal to 4 units. Supply is equal to 4 units. Supply is equal to 4 units. So 0.1 into 116, not demand, supply. 0.3 into 40, these are all minus losses. 0.4 into 18, 0.2 into 18. Multiply and tell me. Minus 0.1 into 116 minus 0.3 into 40 plus 0.4 into 18 plus 0.2 into 18. What is the answer? 20. Sales demand is given, probability is given. Sales demand is given, probability is given. Cost of various things are given. Expected profits for various quarterly levels are given. Which of the purchase quantity you would recommend to Caterpillar? So first find out what is the expected demand. Expected demand work out pattern. 8,000 into 10%, 10,000 into 40%, 12,000 into 30%, 15,000 into 20%. What is the expected value based on demand?
$11,400.
11,000.
400.
So how much you will buy? Approximately 12,000. See, how do you see now?
நேற்று உட்கார்ந்து ஒன்னொன்னா போட்டு பார்த்துச்சு.
See, why do we buy? Why do we buy? For sales. What is expected demand? 12,000. Expected demand is around 11,400. So better you buy 12,000. $143. Multiply and get me the expected value. They ask you to find out estimated demand, nothing else. $2,000 into 0.1, $3,000 into 0.15, $4,000 into 2.2, $5,000 into 0.35, $6,000 into 0.2. C, 4,400. Work out expected value for investment A, B, C, then let us rank. Payoff multiplied with probability for investment A, B, C, you multiply and you will get it. For A, B, C, work out the expected value, then let us decide. It's like minus 20,000 into 0.3, minus 10,000 into 0.1. This, like this, you multiply.
Yes,
For A, 26,000. B, multiply 0.2. Point 2 into minus 20,000. How much? 30,000. 34,000. Okay. Points. There is third product. Third investment. Minus 20,000 into 0.3, 0.1, 2, 3, 1. Now let us rank B, C, A. B, C, then A. First work out the sales, expected value, then that into 80%.
Calculate a formula.
84,000 into 80%. Sales into 80% will give us cost of goods sold. 84,000 into 80%. How much you get?
67,200.
67,200 is your cost of goods. D. 146. Go through 146. It will cost 6,000 to undertake investigation, another 18,000 to correct which one? Operations. If the department founds it is operating improperly, so expected cost is 33,000. So this 33,000 is expected cost, and this is 6,000 minimum you need to spend, and 18,000 to correct if the operation is found improperly. 18,000 into the probability of improper operation is X. Solve this. $33,000. Wait. This is 33,000 X. X is like improper operations. X is like which one? Improper operations. Okay. 33,000. Is the cost of total cost. The minimum 6,000 we'll spend to undertake inspection, and correct we'll be spending per operation on the month. So when you solve this, 33,000x minus 18,000x will give us 15,000x is equal to 6,000. So what is the probability? Probability of improper operation is 6,000 divided by 15,000. 40%.
0.
40% will be 0. The 6,000 is like a fixed cost, and this 18,000 we'll spend only when there is a defective thing. Try to. For a favorable research, if the product is successful, 0.7 probability into what is the profit? 10 million. And loss will be 70% successful, now 30% unsuccessful are for a favorable research. The loss will be into 4 million. How much you get? For a favorable result. 0.7 into 10 million minus loss. 0.3 into 4 million. What is expected value for this? $7 million. This is minus. Minus. It will be like 5.8 million, 58 lakhs. For this, what is the probability of favorable result? 60%. 58 lakhs into 60% for a favorable thing, expected value. It's not 100% going to be favorable, 60% the favorable chance. This into 60%, how much you get? 58 lakhs into 60%. Favorable research, outcome is 58 lakhs, although the probability 60%. How much you get? 58 lakhs into 60%. 34 lakh 80,000. For unfavorable research, what is the probability? Unsuccessful is 75%, successful will be 25%. 0.25 into 10 million success rate minus unsuccessful 0.75 into 4 million. What is the expected outcome? You understand? 75% successful. unsuccessful. So 25% successful, 75% into minus 4.4 million. How much you get? Minus 3, 2.5. Hope it is negative 5 lakhs. Last 5 lakhs will come. For this, what is the possibility? 40% possibility. 5 lakhs into 40%, 2 lakhs. So what is the net expected value? 34 lakh 80 minus 2 lakhs, 32 lakh 80,000. So two situations, 60% favorable, 40% unfavorable. So outcome into 60%, outcome into 40%. Net answer is 32 lakh 80,000. Multiply, you will get the expected value. Point 0.2 into 4,000, 0.3 into 10,000, 0.3 into 30,000, 0.2 into 60,000. Multiply and add, you will get it.
$23,200.
23, 200. Answer is E. Try. If it is hot, you make 1,900. If it is cold, you make only 1,000. No, no. Soft drinks as well as coffee you have to work with. From coffee, selling coffee kit, selling coffee. So 2,000 is the profit if it is cold into 0.6 probability, and 1,900 if it is hot, but the probability is 0.4. Only from coffee they ask for. What is the answer? 1,200. This one, add up.
600.
1,960. Only from coffee they ask. 150. Let us go to 150. Sales increase and probability is given. Sales increase and probability is given. The company sells at 5.2. Advertisement campaign 40,000 they are spending. Work out and tell me the expected value.
83,000.
83.
Expected value this is answer.
ரெகுலராகவே போடலாம் 83 இல்லை
53.
So tell me the expected number of units. 15,000 into 0.1, 30,000 into 0.3, 45,000 into 0.1, 60,000 into 0.25. இதெல்லாம் multiply பண்ணுங்க. You will get 46,500 units into what is the selling price? 5.2 minus variable cost 3.2. Okay, this will give us contribution minus advertisement cost 40,000 will increase in Solra. Additional advertisement cost 40,000. So this will give us the answer. What is the answer? 53,000. Expected value into the contribution margin minus additional fixed cost, you get incremental profit. Please remember, it is not an existing fixed cost of advertisement. This is an incremental advertisement cost. Next. Multiply these figures, you will get the answer. 30% of 7 lakh, 30% of 2 lakhs, and 40% of 4 lakhs. How much you get?
30.
This is negative contribution. Please remember, this is negative contribution, minus 1. 30% of 7 lakhs, 30% of 2 lakhs, and 40% of 4 lakhs you have to minus.
1,10,000.
1,10,000. 1,10,000. Customers' choices based on the past data. P1R4.
Below 10%.
Okay, please remember random numbers. Zero to 1. Totally, how many numbers are there? 10. 10. 0 count one. இங்க 2 இருக்கு, இங்க எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5.
5.
இங்க 7 and 8. 2 numbers, இங்க 1 number. So total random numbers are 10. So 2 random numbers out of 1. 10 random numbers now, it will be 20%. Please remember, it is not a probability, it is just a random number. It is not the value. It is not the choice of the customer that he will prefer 0 and 1 of deal. It is like 2 customers have chosen out of what 10 customers who visited this show. It is not that S104 preferred by 9 customer. No, 9th customer or 1 customer has preferred S104. Otherwise, P104 is preferred by 2 customers. X104 is preferred by 5 customers, 50% probability. You get 20% probability, 10% probability. This is random number, na customer, maybe random assign money. The cost per sweatshirt is given to us. We purchase a different thing. We have to buy 1 month before. We have to buy 1 month before. Work out the expected value. 4,000 into 15%, 5,000 into 20%, 6,000 into 35%, 7,000 into 30%. How much you work? How much?
5,800.
5,800. Where are the one?
Sales into probability.
Unit sales into probability.
5,800.
Sorry, I'm not read this. If 6,000 shirts are purchased, if we have only 6,000 shirts in hand, we have only 6,000 shirts in hand. So 4,000 into 15% covered, 5,000 into 20%. And we are not going to sell this 7,000. We are not going to sell this 7,000. So for this 6,000, the probability will be 65%. We are not going to sell 7,000 because we purchased only 6,000 shares. So what is the expected value for this? 7,000 is out of the range because we purchased only 6,000 quantity. So 4,000 into 15%, 5,000, 20%, 6,000 into 65%. How much you get?
5,500.
5,500. So 5,500. We purchase 6,000. You know, we can sell only 5,500. 5,500 we can sell at the rate of 5,500 we can sell at the rate of 25. Any unsold, it can be sold at 10 rupees. So this will be your revenue. What is the revenue? 5,000. We purchased 6,000. In that 5,500 we can sell for 25, and the remaining 500 we can sell for 10. How much will be your revenue? One 5,000 plus 1,42,500 minus what is the cost of the shirts? What is the cost of the shirt given? 6,000 shirts we purchased at a cost of 13. 6,000 shirts we purchased at a cost of 13. What is the cost? 78,000. So if you look at this, will be your net profit. $142,500 minus 78,000 will give us profit. What is the profit?
64,500.
what is we have to understand carefully is we purchased only 6,000 units. So there is no use in taking the 7,000. Either we can sell 4,000, 5,000 or 6,000. For that we work out probability. 5,500 shares can be sold. So answer is 64,500. 64,500.
Excellent developer percentage. Excellent point.
So excellent, it will be 0.4. For plan 1, work out separately. 2 lakh,
56,000.
2,56,000. So difference will be the thing. I hope we get 8,000 more in plan 1. Plan 1, we get 8,000 more income than plan 2. Next part. A car rental agency has a policy for replacing tires. What is the probability of cost, gain or loss? Probability analysis could be the best choice. Just multiply, you will get the expected value. How much expected value? This is also multiply, you will get the expected value. How much? 4,33,750. Read this question and answer. Optimum number of bags of peanut stock. No need to work out anything. Look at the payoff. Payoff is high when you have 40 bags. Answer is A. When you buy and sell 40, your profit is more. He has worked out and given. Answer is A. Expected value is nothing but the mean of all the probabilities that is given. It's a kind of arithmetic mean. You can look at this. We multiply and get, that is like an expected average. That's a kind of an expected average. Look at 116. Multiply this, you will get the expected value.
£40.
Next question. Department A processes 50%, B 30%, C 20%. Error rate is 2%, 5%, 2.5%. Work out total probability available. 50 into 2%, 30 into 5%. Like that you work out. A 50 into 2%, 1. B 20, 30 into 5%, 1.5. C 20 into 2.5%. How much you get?
0.5.
So what is the total? 3. If you look at Department A accounts for 1 out of 3. Department A accounts for 1 by 3. 1 by 3 is nothing but 33.333%. Total probability is 3. In the department 1 has, of course, A has 1. So 1 by 3, 33% probability that the department A is responsible for this error.
Focus green blur.
Okay. எல்லாத்துக்கும் expected value work out பண்ணணும். Alternative 1, 2, 3, 4 expected value work out பண்ணணும். Highest expected monetary value, you need to get it.
Alternative 1.
எப்படி ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணீங்களா?
5,000.
Alternative 1, 1,05,000 வரும், 1,02,500 வரும். I just see the answer and type 97,500 வரும். For alternative 3, alternative 4, it will be 80,000. We multiply probability with cash flows. The alternative 2, 3, 4, if you multiply, the highest payoff will be there in which one? Alternative 1. work out the expected value. If 80% is cost of sales, 20% will be the profit. What is the answer? 0.2.
5,000.
1,75,000 into 0.2, 35,000. Multiply, you will get the expected value. Answer is 29,75,000. 29,75,000. 165 பாருங்க. $60 into 9.5 million. Okay, 15 unsuccessful கொடுத்திருக்கோம். Work out the expected value for this probability of success and unsuccessful. This into 0.6 plus this into 0.2.
It is a point to eleven.
Sorry, 0.4.
9 million for success.
2 million into 0.4. 0.5 million கிடைக்கும்.
0.8.
To be 98 lakhs. Minus what is the cost of investment? 95 lakhs. So what is the profit? 3 lakhs. Cost up to the point, whatever is spent is like more like a sunk cost. Whether you continue the project or not, that is not recoverable. If you don't invest in joint venture, cost incurred up to the point is not recoverable. Alternative 1 or alternative 2, that cost incurred is so far, that's all. We cannot recover it. Additional cost to be paid, you can save. Additional cost to be paid, you can save. Okay, additional cost to be paid 1 lakh if you don't invest. So if you don't invest, the loss is 1 lakh. If you invest, the profit is 3 lakhs. Option A. Work out for A and B expected value. Then let us see. 4 lakh into 45%, 3 lakh 25,000 into 55%. 6 lakhs into 25%, 2 lakh 50,000 into 75%. Work out for A and B. Then let us see the difference.
A, 3,987,250.
இல்லையே வேறு ஏதோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குங்களா இங்கே for B
1,500.
difference 21,250. We'll choose A. Expected value is 21,250 higher than location B. Multiply, you will get expected value. .9%. Okay. So with this, I stop. We have covered which one, learning curve and probability. Next, I'll do in a separate session this budget methodologies. I'll do this in a separate session, budget methodology.